Welcome to the Fun Astrology and Merriman Market Analyst Saturday Financial Podcast. I'm Thomas Miller. Thank you so much for joining us. This column typically is written by Ray Merriman, but we have a guest author this weekend because Ray is moving across the country. His move was announced in the Forecast 2025 book and audiobook, which I still highly, absolutely recommend, especially with what's taking place this coming week. Ray also discussed his move in the video that he and I did, released a couple of Saturday weeks ago. This week's article is written by MMA analyst Puyan Zalfagarnia. He has an excellent analysis of what's coming up ahead with the charts related to the inauguration et al., so we're going to skip the market part for this week. Equities in the United States jumped this week after Wednesday's CPI results were released and finished strong on the week on Friday. But in this week's short-term geocosmics and longer-term thoughts, some things that we should keep in mind going into Monday. Puyan says Mars, the planet of aggression, fire, confrontation, and war, is retrograde in the sign of its fall, Cancer. This crafts the planet to be weak and depleted. On the other hand, Venus, the planet of love, harmony, and peace, is in its sign of exaltation, Pisces. Therefore, with the Sun's opposition to Mars, we heard news of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Over the coming week, we will have the Venus-Saturn conjunction taking place on January 18th. We generally like to buy markets making a low as this aspect is forming. The Sun will ingress into Aquarius on January 19th, forming a conjunction with Pluto on January 21st. These dates are important as they mark the active degree of the December 2020 Great Conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, commencing the new era, AIRA. We would expect a sudden shift in mass psychology as the Sun changes signs, which will be marked by the important United States presidential inauguration on Monday. The January 20th, 2025 Inauguration Chart for Donald Trump suggests a presidency marked by deep transformation, conflicts, and unexpected developments. Central to the chart is the Sun-Pluto conjunction on the midheaven in opposition to Mars, Uranus and Taurus in the first house, and a grand square indicating themes of disruption, emotional tensions, and challenges in leadership, both domestically and internationally. From our cycle students, we know that the next 4 years will be extremely eventful for the financial markets as we anticipate the 18-year crest and trough to form in the equity markets. However, the U.S. presidential inauguration chart provides a richer picture of a nation and world in turmoil and undergoing dramatic change. In reviewing prior inauguration charts, there are strong similarities to the inauguration chart of Franklin D. Roosevelt on January 20th, 1941. He had to deal with the attack on Pearl Harbor and the United States getting dragged into World War II. This chart also has Uranus, the planet of sudden disruptions, unexpected shifts, and innovation, the Manhattan Project, and the development of the atomic bomb, in the first house, the nation. The Sun in this chart was in opposition to Pluto. There was also a grand square aspect indicating tension and turmoil involving 3 of the same planets that we have in the 2025 chart, Chiron, the Moon, and Mercury. The Sun-Pluto conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius, the charged degree marking the 2020 Great Conjunction, suggests the presidency will be defined by profound societal changes. The Sun represents the president, and Pluto governs transformation, power struggles, and dismantling outdated structures. This alignment indicates a presidency aimed at restructuring American society, particularly in areas like governance, technology, and collective ideals associated with Aquarius. However, the opposition to retrograde Mars on the IC, the Coeli, suggests internal struggles and resistance to these transformative efforts, with the potential for external conflict, as the IC also signifies the homeland. Uranus in the first house suggests that Trump's public persona and leadership will be marked by sudden and unexpected shifts, which already define him with his natal sun conjunct to Uranus. Uranus is a planet of rebellion, innovation, and unpredictability. Uranus in Taurus points to disruptions in material areas such as the economy, resources, and financial systems, suggesting that Trump's actions may impact economic stability or environmental policies, potentially creating significant shifts in these sectors. Expect disruptions. This signature is exacerbated by Uranus entering Gemini, Trump's sun sign, in 2025, heading toward a Uranus return to his natal chart. This will create further unpredictability, instability, disruption, and even danger for the president. A grand square involving the Moon in Libra, Mercury in Capricorn, Chiron in Aries, and retrograde Mars in Cancer creates significant tension and conflict between the signification of these planets. The Moon in Libra focuses on the public and their emotional needs, while Mercury in Capricorn represents structured communication, authority, legislation, and trade. The square between these two suggests difficulty in conveying clear and effective policies, particularly as Trump's leadership may face criticism around trade, Mercury, and wars, Mars. Chiron in Aries highlights wounds related to national identity, restrictions on personal autonomy, the hard-working labor force, and enemies. This placement suggests that Trump's presidency may prompt the nation to confront painful issues related to its values and self-image, potentially resurfacing unresolved conflicts over leadership and the country's direction. Retrograde Mars in Cancer adds emotional complexity to the grand square as Mars governs action and aggression, and Cancer represents the homeland and security. Retrograde Mars suggests that conflicts related to national security, family values, immigration, or domestic policies may be internalized or unresolved. This dynamic could lead to emotional battles and public dissatisfaction with Trump's handling of key issues like national security, public safety, or social justice. Under these conditions, it is worth becoming more attentive and prudent around your risk management strategies. Take profits early and err on the side of caution as we enter choppy waters. That's it for this week's newsletter. Special thanks to Puyan for an excellent job on that part of the short-term geocosmics and longer-term thoughts. Looks like due to weather that the inauguration will be inside as it was during President Ronald Reagan's, I think what they say, 7 degrees on the day that he was inaugurated back in the 1980s. So it's going to move inside, and that, of course, will help with the safety risk that's also inherent in this kind of chart. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you back on Monday. Have a great rest of your weekend.